Make sure y'all like the stream. Let's get the likes up. I know I'm not going to have a lot of people in here tonight, but so what? Okay. We got to talk about this. We got to talk about this. Kevin Porter Jr.'s career was sacrificed due to a emotional heifer, all right, who thought he was out cheating and wanted to lock him out the house, the room, so to speak, right? Not understanding you're with an NBA player. He's not your husband. You know, you're not engaged to be married to him. You should understand that he has a social life, just like you have. I bet you have male friends that he don't even ask you about why do you have them. You do tell him that you can have friends if you want to have them, but because he went out with friends or teammates, you're angry and he's upset. Things happen, but according to her, things didn't happen the way that it was portrayed in the news. I agree, Matthew. They do that. They do that they think they're going to get a different reaction, but they don't. Nobody's out here trying to play Captain Save a Heifer anymore. Some of you males are. That's why you don't have a woman. They don't respect you. But we are where we are because of this heifer. Y'all see on the screen? And we're going to get to her. She actually posted a statement. And this is the most horrendous thing I've ever seen. It really is. You let all these weeks go by. You let all these weeks go by and you didn't say anything. Your sister threatened Kevin Porter Jr. And I made a video about that. Your sister threatened Kevin Porter Jr. Threatened him. Ain't no false narratives. The only reason why she's doing this is because she realized that his career is pretty much over. Right? He just got traded and waived. Nobody's going to sign him, especially with this case pending. But this is not a false narrative. This is what people think happened. See, when you heifers lie and you make up shit, people's lives get ruined. If the man never did these things to you, you should have came out publicly and said it, but you didn't. You didn't say anything because you were soaking up that sympathy. You heifers cannot help yourself. You can't help yourself but to soak up the sympathy. So look at where we are. Let's look at this article. Former Houston Rockets guard Kevin Porter Jr.'s ex-girlfriend, I think it's Kaiser, refuted prosecutors' claim Porter beat and strangled her in a social media post on Wednesday. It is unfortunate that misleading information and narratives were shared to bring forth current charges in this case. She wrote in a statement posted to X, formerly known as Twitter, on Wednesday, which is today. You should have said something sooner. Porter was arrested on September 11th on felony assault and strangulation charges in connection to an incident that occurred at a New York hotel. Authorities responded to a 911 call to the room at 6:45 a.m. Upon arrival, officers determined Porter struck his girlfriend multiple times upon her body and placed his hands around her neck. During Porter's arraignment the next day, prosecutors claimed he continued hitting her until she ran out into the hallway covered in blood, leaving her with a fractured neck vertebrae and laceration above her right eye. She directly responded to those allegations, claiming that she never granted prosecutors an interview or permission to make statements, despite Assistant District Attorney, Mariah Kurzier attempts. I don't know. Now, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. This sounds like a woman's name to me. Is Mariah a woman? Because we know some of you males can have female names. So I'm assuming this is a female district attorney. See, let me tell y'all something about the New York District Attorney's Office. We see the situation that has occurred with other people, right? And we all know that when a famous man it gets into some type of domestic situation, they're gonna pursue the charges. Jonathan Majors is going through this. Jonathan Majors is going through this right now with the New York District Attorney's Office. Even though the woman that he was dealing with showed no visible signs of injury, she was out partying after their quote unquote altercation. And I believe she even retracted or refuted that he did anything to her. They're still pursuing this. This is, and this situation just says that they looked at what was going on, and the DA's office said, you know what, this could be a big deal. Let's push this, because they have this narrative about, prosecuting black men, right? They have this narrative about they want to prosecute black men so badly that even in weak cases, they're trying to take them to court, right? Jonathan Majors, the same thing with Kevin Porter Jr. And so many of you people, y'all know who I'm talking about. They wanted to believe this because in their minds, black men are violent. Black men are dangerous, right? Because they have a narrative to push. Now, this is the rest of her statement. She says she went ahead and provided false narratives of details specifying that Kevin had balled his fists up and repeatedly punched me 5 times in the face, along with strangling me until the point of losing breath, causing redness, strain, and scars, which I did not have or never occurred. So were the officers lying? Interesting. She wrote, the harassment and eagerness for me to support these claims to justify their position and remarks is a matter an assistant DA took into her own hands while I was vulnerable, emotionally healing, and unavailable at the time of information being released. This is her statement here. I mean, this is like a month late. I mean, we are already halfway into October and we're now seeing this statement. Like, what? This is what I'm talking about, people. See, her sister made it worse when she hopped on social media and threatened Kevin Porter Jr.'s life. Your sister hopped on to social media and threatened him. That is not good. Again, man, let's get the likes up. So we can't say it's all the DA because, again, you didn't say anything. If he hasn't done any of those things to you, why was this left out here for almost a month, over a month, with no pushback? Why are you now refuting? That's what's frustrating, is you waited this long to put this statement out. I think she realized that she really messed up this dude's career. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was a mutual fight, even though I don't think men should be fighting with their girlfriends or wives, especially when they have something to lose. But this to me seems like a mutual fight. And she, women in that moment, they want to get that guy in trouble. And that's what she did, because she's trying to fight this guy and he's either defending himself or he's keeping her from fighting him. So she runs out and calls the police. That's like the natural instinct of a lot of these women, is to call the police because they feel like the police is their protection. And now she's putting out this statement. This guy's career is already down the drain. This is a month too late, to be honest with you. It really is. We're talking about a district attorney's office that is so corrupt and is so all about publicity and headlines The arrest of Kevin Porter Jr. and the case against him is all about getting headlines. That's the type of people that are running the DA's office in New York. A bunch of people who want attention. And they want to prosecute high profile men in order to get that attention. Now, according to her, the DA's office she hasn't really even spoke to them, which is probably why this case hasn't really gone anywhere since. But we know one thing about the New York State District Attorney's Office: they're going to pursue charges whether the other party, whether they decide to cooperate or not. We know that this is how these people operate. But see, this should be a lesson. It really should. For a lot of you women, when you get into a fight with your boyfriend, which you shouldn't, if you know it's a mutual fight, just walk away. We don't know what happened in that room. You know what happened, and he knows what happened. But for her to put out this statement lets me know that she doesn't feel like what happened there was that big of a deal. But it didn't help. It did not help that her sister made threats. That did not help whatsoever. It really didn't. And now this guy's career is down the drain. A promising NBA player, his career is, I'm not going to say it's no coming back at all. I don't think it's a Miles Bridges situation. Miles Bridges was about to get the biggest contract of his life, and then he puts his hands on his girlfriend. And we know what happened with Miles Bridges? He went back to that same woman. And you know what he ended up doing? Getting physical with her again. And not only that, he got her pregnant again. Black men gotta be thinkers, okay? Even with Kevin Porter Jr., Miles Bridges, you are black men. They will prosecute you. It don't matter if you're in the NBA. You guys got to stop getting so emotional with these heifers, man. You guys act like women emotionally. You're letting women control you. This woman ain't even your wife. I don't think her and Kevin have children together. If this woman doesn't like you going out and doing whatever, then you need to be single. I do not understand why young NBA players are getting into relationships. That is the dumbest thing you could possibly do, because you're going to want to live your life. You're going to want to have a social life. You're going to want to hang out. But why are you dudes getting married? I said the same thing about Dwayne Haskins. I'm like, bro, why are you marrying a woman who you clearly have had issues with? That woman put hands on you, but he married her anyway. In his early 20s, when he's trying to get his NFL career back on track. And by the way, that same woman is her sister. Both of them are violent, it seems like. Because I believe it was a mutual fight. And unfortunately, she was on the losing end of it, and that's why she went and ran for the police. You guys have got to be smarter, man. Why are you getting into relationships? You don't need to be in a relationship. If you want to deal with women, deal with them on a casual basis. Y'all are wifing up chicks this early in your career? If I'm a young NBA player, I want to have a social life. I want to be able to go out and do what I want to do without her being an anchor. But you see a pretty face and you're like, I got to wife her up. No, you don't. Because this one right here, she ended your career. She said that the DA's office fabricated the claims of the case based on the statements from an officer who was present after the alleged assault and overheard possible comments from medical personnel. The information Assistant DA Mariah received was by hearsay and invalid to my truth, she added. Porter appeared in Manhattan Criminal Court for the scheduled hearing Monday, a day before he was traded to Oklahoma City Thunder and then waived. During that appearance, prosecutors dropped one of the assault charges against him. The charge of second-degree assault was connected to her alleged fractured vertebrae. Porter's defense team reportedly had documents to show that she had a congenital defect, not a new injury. Y'all got to understand, she was an athlete as well. She played basketball as well. So I'm pretty sure she's had injuries in her career. But you see, the New York District Attorney's Office are such bozos that they like, damn, we got one. We got another black man that we can, put charges on. The DA reportedly cited insufficient evidence as the reason for dropping the charge. Kassir claims the evidence couldn't have been insufficient because it never existed. Porter still faces charge of second-degree strangulation and third-degree assault, to which he pled not guilty. Well, how are you going to convict somebody if the person is not, you have no evidence of it, and the person that you are relying on is not helpful? This is a sad situation, man. Hey, young NBA players, stop wifing up chicks. Especially her. You know she has an ego. She was a WNBA player for like 5 minutes. She's not going to take kindly to you doing what you want to do. All right? Just crazy.